A very good afternoon to all of you. Today we are joined by India coach and captain ahead of the all-important semi-finals. So without further delay, I would like to request you to ask questions.
First question to coach. Coach, how's the preparation for the semi-final against Germany? They are mighty opponent. We all know that.
Yeah.
So how's the preparation?
Look, I think we needed to rest properly. First, I think yesterday we had a tough game. I think Italy put us to work and we responded really well. I think the girls hopefully had a good sleep, although after a night game, that's always a little bit difficult. The goalkeepers just trained and I think, yeah, we're getting ready. We know Germany well. We played them this summer. We played them in Spain. They're a very good team. They have very good individual players. They have very good individual skill. They defend really well. But I think if we play to our strengths and focus on ourselves, we can also hurt them a little bit.
Totally change the tournament, other tournament. You have played with them earlier, but this time the challenge is quite tough. So, do you think their state will give you a problem?
Look, everyone, I said this before, there were 8 teams here that wanted to get into the Olympics, and now there's 4 left that have an opportunity, and you see how devastating it was yesterday for the teams that didn't make it, because your dream is crushed, and now we have 4 teams fighting for that opportunity. I think we just have to show up, and I think after that first game against the US, where we were not really there, or maybe fighting a little bit against ourselves, we are trying really hard. I think we just need to play, and yeah, Germany's good. We know that. We've played them. We've lost. I think, yeah, we need to defend really well. And like I said, if we can attack to our strengths and play to our strengths in general, let's see what happens, because it's a hockey game and everyone can win. Well, maybe then you can reverse it and say the defenders of Germany and the defenders of India. But look, I think, for example, I was really happy with our performance with our defense, both against New Zealand and as well against Italy. I think they did a very good job. Italy was also very good on the ball. But yes, I think if our strikers can play to their strengths, if our defenders can play to their strengths, we will cause some problems for Germany, because I think we have good defenders in a 1v1, and I think we have good attackers with a lot of speed.
बिल्कुल अभी स्पेन में रिसेंटली खेला था और काफी अच्छा मैच था। ये नहीं था कि सिर्फ हम उनको डिफेंस ही कर रहे थे, हमारा भी शॉट ऑन गोल था, पेनल्टी कॉर्नर अटैक था, तो काफी अच्छी हमारी परफॉर्मेंस रही थी उस मैच में। और अभी आज का पूरा दिन है, वही हम देखेंगे कि उसमें हमारा और क्या बेटर हो सकता है। और जैसे कि कोच ने ऑलरेडी बताया कि जर्मनी अच्छी टीम है, तो हमें इंडिविजुअल 1v1 बहुत अच्छा रखना है इन डिफेंस और जो हमारे पास अपॉर्चुनिटी होगी अटैक की, एज ए गोलकीपर मैं अपनी टीम को हमेशा बोलती हूँ कि बहुत अच्छे स्ट्राइकर है, मिड है, कि इवन डिफेंस हर कोई बहुत अच्छा है, बट इंडिविजुअल हमारी टीम में भी काफी अच्छे प्लेयर्स हैं। सिर्फ सेल्फ बिलीव की जरूरत है, और वो आई थिंक हम मैच बाय मैच टीम के अंदर वो चीज आती है।
If I talk about the penalty, after 60 minutes, the penalty will be given up to the player. Okay.
Just from an overall perspective, from a coaching analysis, what are the pros and cons of either having this thriving club culture vis-a-vis a camp?
Look, I think if you have a very strong competition, what it does is you get a lot of game opportunities, so that the players in Germany have a lot of games in general. First of all, they have a very experienced team here, with a lot of players with over 100 caps. So that played a lot of times internationally. And then, you play club hockey, and that means playing games, means learning, decision-making, awareness. And that is always an advantage to a training, because in a training, if you make a mistake, that's fine, because there's no consequence. Whereas if you lose on Sunday or on Saturday, whatever day they play, you don't feel so great, because, I think from my own experience as well, that has always been the advantage, and that's where Holland and European teams in general, with a lot of league hockey, have a little bit of an advantage in that game awareness piece.
Forward line, that's an experience part of our team.
Yeah, look, when Vendana, of course, got injured, we knew that we had to adapt. But if you can see, look, Shami's been around for quite a bit of time. She's young, but she's been around. And I think she's taking that leadership role quite well. But I think that is the strength of this team more than anything. It doesn't really matter if you're young or old. You know, the young girls really want to play well. They're actually pretty self-aware. They're very keen to listen to the senior players who give them advice and encourage them and support them a lot. Like, I think if you look at, you know, their individual performances, yeah, it's a little bit up and down, and that's normal when you're young. But Deepika scoring her stroke yesterday. I think Beauty scoring that goal against New Zealand. Shami causing the stroke. Sangeeta scoring the goal against New Zealand. You know, they all performing pretty well, and not consistently maybe, but I'm not sure I can expect that. And I'm just willing for them to play and to listen well, and they do that really well, I think.
So, just talking about consistency. Do you think consistency is the problem with your team?
Look, I was like, consistency is this enigma. What you have is like very good teams play not very good and they win. You know, that's the strength of the great teams in the world and in any sport really. But I do think, you know, where we're getting at is that our how you say, the benchmark is raising. So yeah, we're going here, but we're not going here anymore. So that consistency is not perfect, but we are generally able to stay in the game. Yeah, and look, against US it wasn't going our way, but what I was really happy with, that we kept in the fight, because there's times that we then just, you know, then stop, and we were fighting. And yesterday we didn't have a very good first half, in my opinion, after we scored, and we struggled a little bit with our pressure. We struggled a little bit on the ball, but to be fair to the players, they were trying, and they were basically not playing for an 8, but they were playing for a 6. And yeah, that's consistency as well. Yeah, again, I think, you know, it's all part of our maybe team culture and the unity and the togetherness that the girls show to make her feel welcome and make her feel confident and make her feel that she has the support to just play hockey. She's a good player. We knew that beforehand, you know, and yeah, she doesn't have a whole lot of experience, but for us, it's just about her playing to her strengths. And I think it's the other girls that help her to be able to do that here.
What is the preparation against German, special for practice and victory?
Yeah, like our PC defense needs to be on par, so we'll look at that, and I think we can, and we have been practicing that a lot. The girls are ready for that, I'm pretty sure. But look, they have a very good threat on the top of the circle. In terms of generally, Germany loves to have the ball, and if there's one thing that I think for us is important, is that we can pressure them well, and that when we have the ball, we can keep the ball and threaten them a little bit. And I think we do that for parts of the game. We did that in Spain. We did that here also in the practice match. And there's then times that, you know, they have too much of the ball and we can't really get it. And when we get it, we kind of give it straight back to them. And I think that will be a huge emphasis for us to keep a little bit of the ball.
Just want to ask you, teams within the seconds of the start of the match. So how important is to score a goal in the first quarter to put pressure on the for your
You want to ask it? Answer it?
Savita can also reply on that.
Listen, I actually had this conversation, and we actually will talk about it this afternoon also. Look, it's great that we score early, but at the same time, I think maybe it hurt us a little bit yesterday because, you know, we knew that we needed a tie after the US beat New Zealand, and then we score so early in the game. And then I know half of our team is like, ooh, but now we can concede one goal and we're still through. So it's kind of a little bit on that back foot. And we talk about it all the time. Maybe Germany scores in the first minute. Maybe we score in the first minute. We don't know what will happen. Yeah. And it is all about, you know, having our mind right and making sure that whatever happens in that first minute, we have 59 minutes left to do whatever we need to do. And in that respect, I was really happy with the New Zealand game, especially because we were 1-0 up and they equalized through a corner that wasn't a PC. And then our response to that was actually critical. So for me, tomorrow there's 60 minutes of hockey. What happens in the first minute happens in the first minute, but we'll have 59 left.
ये सबसे बड़ी बात है आपकी प्रिपरेशन को ऊपर भी सवाल आता है।
बिल्कुल सर, डेफिनेटली सभी को पता है कि जर्मनी अच्छी टीम है, तो हमें एज ए टीम फर्स्ट पूरा 60 मिनट गेम में फोकस रखना है। और एज ए गोलकीपर डेफिनेटली वो चीज़ मेरे माइंड में आएगी कि मैच अगर शूट आउट पे होता है तो मेरा क्या रिएक्शन रहेगा और टीम का क्या रहेगा। बट अगेन ये बोलूंगी कि हमने इस चीज़ के लिए भी ऑलरेडी अपनी ट्रेनिंग की है, काफ़ी शूट आउट ट्रेनिंग की है, अटैकर्स ने भी काफ़ी की है और काफ़ी अच्छे स्किल है हमारे प्लेयर्स के पास। और मैं और बिच्छू जो भी जाते हैं, हमें भी अपना पता है कि जर्मन अच्छे प्लेयर हैं, इंडिविजुअल भी अच्छे हैं, तो काम रहना है और काफी शूट आउट का एक्सपीरियंस है हमारे पास तो अच्छा ही होगा।
कैप्टन एक चीज बताइए, अभी तक जो खेल हुआ है, जो हुआ है, चाहे पीसी हो चाहे शासी हो, लेकिन आपकी नजर में ये नहीं कहते कुछ बाहर रहते हैं ग्राउंड के अंदर क्या कमी अभी भी रह गया है?
ओके सर, रूम फॉर इम्प्रूवमेंट तो हमेशा ही रहता है, हर एक टीम में रहता है। ये शायद इस टूर्नामेंट में जर्मनी सबसे अच्छी टीम है, कहीं ना कहीं उनका भी वो पॉइंट रहा होगा। बट हमारे लिए सिर्फ यही एक सबसे बड़ी बात है कि कीप गोइंग ऑन। ये नहीं है कि आप अगर कुछ अच्छा नहीं हुआ तो हमारे पास नेक्स्ट मैच है वो चीज फिक्स करने का, और मैच बाय मैच शायद हम वो चीज को चीजें आपको होती है। और परफेक्ट हॉकी किसी भी दिन नहीं खेली जाती, किसी भी टीम से नहीं खेली जाती। कोई भी मैच ऐसा नहीं होता कि कोई भी प्लेयर गलती नहीं करता, चाहे वो कितनी भी अच्छी टीम का हो। बट हमारे लिए एज ए टीम खेलना, साथ में एक यूनाइट होके रहना, कनेक्शन इंपॉर्टेंट है। वो आई थिंक हम बेटर कर रहे हैं।
सही था। जर्मनी कोच ने कल अपने ज्यादा बता दिया था कि वो इंडिया में खेलना पसंद करेंगे, तो ये साइकोलॉजिकली आप लोगों को थोड़ा सा प्रेशर देता है या परेशान कर रहा है, क्योंकि उन्होंने क्लियर कर दिया कि बस हम इंडिया में खेलना पसंद करेंगे।
जर्मनी अच्छी टीम है, शायद हम भी उनके साथ खेलने के लिए रेडी है। हमारे पास खोने के लिए कुछ नहीं है। हमारी टीम इवन डे बाय डे और ईयर बाय ईयर काफी इम्प्रूव कर रही है। हमने उनके साथ जितने भी लास्ट मैचेस खेले हैं, हमें भी खेल के बहुत मजा आया है, क्योंकि सिर्फ हमने उनके साथ डिफेंस ही नहीं किया है। फिर से वही बात रिपीट करूंगी कि हमने अटैकिंग हॉकी भी उनके साथ अच्छी हॉकी खेली है। तो सिर्फ इम्पोर्टेंट है कल के मैच में कि हमारा माइंडसेट कैसा है, एज ए टीम हम किस माइंडसेट के साथ आते हैं, क्या हमारा हम गोल सेट करते हैं, उस चीज के लिए हमें काम करना है।
एक चीज आप टीम में सबसे सीनियर, I don't know your future plans or anything, but this might be your last Olympics. So this might be your last. So how motivated are you personally to get a ticket for Paris?
बिल्कुल सर, अगर मेरा लास्ट है तो डेफिनेटली यही होगा। मुझे भी नहीं पता, इसीलिए मैं आपको उस चीज का आंसर कर रही हूँ। बट हाँ, अगर मेरा लास्ट होगा तो मैं भी अपने हॉकी को एंजॉय करना चाहूंगी कि जितना मेरे पास टाइम है। और मैं अपनी गोलकीपिंग को बहुत इंजॉय कर रही हूँ, स्पेशली यानी कि आने के बाद कि हमने गोलकीपिंग सेशन बहुत किए हैं, चाहे वो पर्टिकुलर शूट आउट है, स्ट्रोक है। अगर आज भी आपने देखा होगा कि हम मैच के नेक्स्ट डे आके भी, रेस्ट डे में आके भी गोलकीपर अपनी ट्रेनिंग करते हैं। वो एक बॉल रोकने के लिए बहुत सी मेहनत होती है उसके पीछे। बट अगर मैं आज एक्सपीरियंस गोलकीपर हूँ तो यही चाहूंगी कि जहाँ टीम को मेरी जरूरत है मैं उनको साथ दूँ, उनके लिए खेलूँ।
Coach, a few questions from the guys who've joined us on Zoom. First one is from Mihir. He's asking, he's saying Japan absorbed the pressure in the first half and started attacking only midway through the second. Do you think you'll follow the same way or you have something else?
We focus on ourselves, so we are going to play to our game plan, and we're going to do what we do best, and that is try to put pressure on them, and that is hard because they're a good team. But yeah, I think we don't really look at other teams how they did it. We just want to fight our own game, and I think Germany got 15 penalty corners against Japan, and I think that's a little bit a lot. So I prefer Germany not to get 15 penalty corners tomorrow. So let's see. If we still win, that's fine. But I think 15 is a little bit a lot.
And Anish from ESPN is asking if you can talk a bit about Selima's performance in the tournament and revolution as a player.
Yeah, as with everyone, I think Selima is learning a lot, I think, as a player to take responsibility. I think she was, of course, very good in the New Zealand game. And yesterday you saw glimpses, but yesterday, to her own words, she was also struggling a little bit and she made some mistakes. And I think the biggest progress we're making as a team, her as an individual, but actually all the players, is that the mistakes don't define us anymore. And when we make a mistake, we're trying to fix our mistakes. And if I make a mistake, someone else will fix my mistakes. So really busy as a team to say, look, it doesn't really matter. We just have to show up and play. And look, she has amazing strengths that no one else or very little people in the world have with her speed. And like the goal she scores yesterday, not very many people can do.
So, Kalyani from New Indian Express has a question for you both. Captains of two teams so far have talked about the crowd factor. How important is it going into the next two matches?
I will go, please. All fine. Look, I said it before. I think it is amazing to play here, and I do think that it actually, for me, I don't know. The girls can answer better, but you know, knowing that you have this 12th player behind you, that chanting India, 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 you just feel the energy, and it's something I think that can help us tomorrow, especially, you know, maybe when the game doesn't really go our way and they stand behind us. I know the girls will keep going and keep fighting. And yeah, again, I think it's fascinating for me as a player. You want to play in your own country. You know, it's such a privilege, to be completely honest. It's such a privilege to play for all these people who are so enthusiastic and are fighting hard to be here and cheering us on.
सविता, फर्स्ट पोस्ट की तरफ से आपके लिए क्वेश्चन है कि न्यूजीलैंड से क्या सीखा आपने और उस पे कैसे एज अ टीम इम्प्रूव करा ताकि आप सेमीफाइनल्स
बिल्कुल सिर्फ न्यूजीलैंड से ही नहीं है, फर्स्ट मैच से ही था कि हम जिस फर्स्ट मैच जब खेलने आए थे यूएसए के साथ, तो पता था कि यूएसए इम्प्रूव कर रहा है, बट अगेन हमारा फोकस खुद पे था और फर्स्ट हाफ शायद हम अच्छा नहीं खेले थे और उसके बाद हमें काफी चांस मिले। अगर शायद वो हम यूटिलाइज करते तो स्कोर कुछ दूसरा रहता, बट उसके बाद हमने यही डिसाइड किया था कि न्यूजीलैंड मैच शायद हमारा इस टूर्नामेंट के सबसे ज्यादा प्रेशर वाला मैच था, क्योंकि वो मैच जीतना हर हालत में जरूरी था। अगर किसी भी तरह वो मैच नहीं जीतते तो शायद हम टूर्नामेंट से बाहर थे। और उस मैच में शायद सबने एज ए टीम अपना काम किया है, कोई भी ऐसा नहीं था कि एक्सट्रीमली गुड है और कोई ये नहीं था कि बहुत डाउन है। तो वही हम डिसाइड करके आए थे कि जो भी है हमें ग्राउंड से बाहर जीत के निकलना है, मैच बुरा खेले अच्छा खेले। और वही हमारा नेक्स्ट इटली के साथ भी वही रहा था और शायद वही माइंडसेट हमारा नेक्स्ट मैचेस में काम आएगा।
और जर्मनी के साथ जो मैच है उनके उसके बारे में आप तो जर्मनी के स्ट्रेंथ्स आपको क्या लगता है क्या है और उनके साथ कैसे आप डील करें?
जर्मनी के जैसे ऑलरेडी कोच ने भी बताया पहले कि वो इंडिविजुअल बहुत अच्छे हैं और काफी एक्सपीरियंस प्लेयर हैं पूरी टीम में, बट हमारे लिए यही रहेगा कि हम 1v1 अपना अच्छे से रखें, चाहे वो अटैक में है या डिफेंस में है। और एज ए टीम हमारा ज्यादा फोकस डिफेंस पे रहेगा और जो अपॉर्चुनिटी मिलेगी उसमें हम एज ए टीम क्या बेस्ट कर सकते हैं, वो हमारी जो स्ट्रेंथ है उस पर खेलेंगे।
In the sense, you mean to say that आप डिफेंस में फोकस करोगी और काउंटर अटैकिंग खेलोगी?
राइट सर, बिल्कुल कि एज ए टीम डिफेंस करेंगे और जो हमारी स्ट्रेंथ है अटैकिंग होगी वो हम उनके साथ स्टार्टिंग से खेलना पसंद करेंगे।
And coach, you didn't you don't usually celebrate too much, but we saw you after the game last night. So, what was going through your head?
Well, look, you know, this tournament has been a roller coaster so far. You know, you don't want to lose your first game because you know that's in a pool of four, very close to not making it, and then all the scenarios play through your head. And to be fair, I think we needed to come from far. And I said to Savage just now walking up to the press conference also yesterday before the game, my mind was going 100 miles an hour every way, every scenario. What if, what if, what if, what if? And I also knew we just had to play. And I think that's my focus in that game. And I was really, really happy when we scored a 1-0, but then I kind of knew what was going to happen. So I think what we did really well is how we played that second half, especially, and how the girls were all trying to do their own job well and not being too frustrated with whatever was happening, because we did have some issues against Italy. So yeah, I'm just happy that we're here now. We fought hard to be here, and now it starts again. Like, that's how I see it. It starts again. Yeah, we have a new game, we have a new opportunity, and we're going to fight for it. Well, look, we were talking before in activation when we were in the hotel, and I typically ask her, okay, you're going to take the stroke, where are you going to take it? And she told me where she was thinking. And I said, look, I think you need to go hand side. And she said, okay. And I didn't know because she was training in the morning, but Bichu saved all her strokes on that side. So I didn't really know that. But then I said, look, I'll ask Savi, and Savi had the same feeling as me. So I said, look, I really think you need to go hand side. And then she just told me on the field also, I said, look, you know, she's so young. And that was a huge moment. And the crowd was going crazy. And I was like, ooh, I'm not sure this is helping her that much. You know what I mean? But her focus there and her execution. And that's what I said to her. And she said, look, I was so nervous. I was so nervous. But I just thought, you know, I do it. And that was what we were talking about. And I think, yeah, she did that really well. She focused on her skill and she executed. And we know she can. But it's one thing to thinking it. And the second thing is to do it. So, yeah, I think that was special for her, I think, also.
Coach, can you tell us a bit about what was said in the group after the US game and how you bounced back?
You know, I think the girls are pretty good general in reflecting, and so they had their own meeting first. So I wasn't really involved. At first, I asked them also with the leadership group, you know, what do you want to do? And so then they had a meeting, and then I was meeting with Peter, actually, our mental coach. And I think we came up with a plan. He came up with a plan, and super helpful. He's here. And we used a nice metaphor, I think, that we got stuck and how we get unstuck. And he was instrumental in that, I think. So after that, I think our vision was a little bit more positive and kind of did a little bit individual reflection. And the next morning we went back to that. And from that moment on, I think they were ready and knew what had to happen.
काफी हेल्पफुल रहा, क्योंकि जब वो एशियन चैंपियन ट्रॉफी में आए थे तब हमने देखा था कि इंडिविजुअल और एज ए टीम हमें उस चीज का कितना बेनिफिट हुआ है, क्योंकि एशियन गेम में जिस माइंडसेट के साथ हम गए थे वो काफी प्रिपेयर्ड थे कि वहां से हम डायरेक्ट क्वालिफाई कर सकते हैं। टीम डिजर्व करती है, एम तो सब रखते हैं, ड्रीम सब रखते हैं, बट हमने वो चीज इम्प्रूव भी की थी कि टीम क्वालिफाई कर सकती है, काफी हद तक चांसेस थे। बट जब वो चीज नहीं होती और टीम में काफी यंग प्लेयर्स भी है, सब चीज सीनियर भी है, कोई भी है, आप जब एक चीज के लिए दिन रात काम करते हो वो चीज आपके बहुत पास से निकल जाती है, तो सब हम एक ये था कि ये तो हमने नहीं सोचा था रिजल्ट ये रहेगा, बट बहुत ही कम टाइम में एशियन चैंपियन ट्रॉफी होना, और सबसे पहली बात कि इंडिया में हमने विमेंस ने बहुत कम टूर्नामेंट खेले हैं, तो हमारे लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट था कि अपने क्राउड के बीच में अच्छी हॉकी खेलना। बहुत कम मौका मिलता है, बहुत कम टीम्स को, और झारखंड की क्राउड्स का तो सभी को पता है कि यहाँ लोग हॉकी से कितना प्यार करते हैं, तो एक कहीं ना कहीं वो भी प्रेशर ऐड था साथ में। और सभी पता है कि जिस टीम के साथ खेल के यहाँ 15 दिन बाद उन्हीं सब टीम्स के साथ वापस से खेलना है। बट इस चीज में पीटर ने हमारी काफी हेल्प की। उन्होंने सबसे पहले जो वहां पे हुआ, क्या थॉट्स थे, क्या प्रेशर था, क्या हारने के बाद था, क्या लास्ट जैसे थर्ड फोर्थ पोजीशन जापान और हमारा मैच था, ये काफी इंपॉर्टेंट था, तो उस मैच में तुम किस माइंडसेट के साथ थे, सब चीजें हमने उनके साथ इंडिविजुअल और एज ए टीम डिस्कस किया। और उसके बाद उन्होंने काफी काम किया हमारे ऊपर, और वो चीज एशियन चैंपियन ट्रॉफी में हेल्प हुई। उसके बाद जो बीच का हमारा टाइम था उसमें भी वो वीकली हमारी जिन लड़कियों को लगता था कि मुझे बात करनी है, तो ऑनलाइन भी उनके साथ हम टच में थे। और सबसे बड़ी बात जो हमारी टीम को उनकी अच्छी लगती है, वो एक बहुत ही काम पर्सनैलिटी है, वो हमें बहुत पॉजिटिव, हमारे लिए एक ऐसा रहता है कि हाँ सब कुछ ठीक है, सब नॉर्मल है, क्योंकि उनकी तरफ से जो सबसे अच्छा मैसेज आता है वो यही है कि लाइफ तो नहीं रुकने वाली, जो भी है वो लाइफ, हम हर एक चीज के लिए मेहनत करते हैं, हर एक कोई अपने प्रोफेशन में अपने जी जान से काम करता है, बट स्टिल कई बार अप एंड डाउन आते हैं, बट लाइफ चलती रहती है। और यही चीज हमने उनसे सीखी। और यही फर्स्ट मैच के बाद जब हमारा यूएसए के साथ मैच था, ऑलरेडी कोच ने भी वो चीज मेंशन की, तो बहुत छोटी एक्टिविटी कराते हैं बट उसमें सीखने के लिए बहुत ज्यादा कुछ होता है। और वो इतना एक बॉन्डिंग टीम में बनती है, एक दूसरे के साथ कनेक्शन बनता है। तो आई थिंक बहुत अच्छा उनका हमारे ऊपर इफेक्ट पड़ रहा है। और जो यंग प्लेयर्स हैं वो भी हेजिटेट नहीं हो रही है। पहले ऐसे होता था कि वो मेंटल कोच है, क्या बोलना है, क्या उनके क्वेश्चन रहेंगे, बट लड़कियां अभी इसमें आगे आ रही हैं अपने आप से, कि अगर कोच ने नहीं भी बोला तो भी इंडिविजुअल उनके साथ मीटिंग करते हैं कि कल के मैच में मैंने क्या अच्छा किया या नहीं अच्छा किया, तो मेरे क्या कोच थे, क्या चीज मुझे स्ट्रक कर रही थी, और अगर अच्छा किया तो मैं किस माइंडसेट के साथ गई थी। तो काफी हेल्प हो रहा है शायद। और हॉकी की ट्रेनिंग तो हम एवरी डे करते हैं, और और एक चीज और है कि ये नहीं है कि सिर्फ पीटर के आने के बाद, डेफिनेटली स्पेसिफिक पीटर के आने के बाद है, बट ये चीजें हम 3 साल से जब से यान हमारे साथ आई है, क्योंकि यान और पीटर पहले यूएसए टीम में भी साथ में काम करते थे, तो यान उनके साथ कॉन्टेक्ट में थी, और कुछ ब्रीदिंग एक्सरसाइज है या मेंटल जो भी होती थी वो हम कंटिन्यू करते थे। और यही चीज हमने इस टूर्नामेंट में भी सीखी है कि अगर आपका खुद पे फोकस है, आप सिर्फ अपने आप पे कंट्रोल रख सकते हो, बाकी क्या सिनेरियो है वो हमारे कंट्रोल में नहीं है।
I'd just like to add to this point. What do you think? How important is mental conditioning for a hockey player? Constant throughout the year you are playing hockey. How important they are away from their families and all? How important is mental conditioning for you?
Well, mental conditioning, I think mental health is
Yeah,
very
mental
important.
health.
I think it's the most important thing. It's the most important thing, and it's something I'm trying to be mindful of, knowing that they are away, and understanding for me also is the culture and you know how different it is arguably than coming from the Netherlands. So I think it is important for me that they are able to tell me what is going on, and not in detail, because I'll never do that. If they want to share, fine. If they don't, that is also absolutely fine. But the ability to at least as a team express, this is what we need, this is what we don't need, we need more of this, we need more of this. For me, mental health is the most important thing, and it's not about winning in that respect. You know, if we have to win but they all have a depression afterwards, then I do my job pretty badly, I would say. For me, mental health comes first, and they need to be want to play and enjoy it. And of course, that's not always easy, and there's going to be tough times and struggles, but they've overcome a lot. And I can only appreciate that from all the hardships on an individual level, as a team level. But it's just to be mindful of, and then understanding the place of sports. I think sports is a metaphor for life. So every skill you learn in this team, on the field, off the field, will help you in the rest of your life to live a better life, maybe for yourself, to understand what you are made of, what is good for you, what is not good for you, to speak up for yourself.
Is Peter, you said that Peter is getting right. Is he on a full-time basis or not?
No, he's not, because he actually is started his own consultancy now. So he's working with a lot of team sports, women's team sports specifically. He's working with the US water polo team, who have won 3 consecutive gold medals in the Olympics. And he's been involved with that team for over 10 years. He's working with USA Rugby. So I was lucky enough when I was in the US that he wanted to work with USA Field Hockey. And then I was lucky enough now that he was willing to come and help us, because I'll be honest, I'm very specific about psychology, about mental coaching. I know he's very good. I trust him completely. And that is why I wanted him to help us, because I knew he could. And yeah, that is for me also very important, that I can trust someone.
Last question. Udita has been engaged from PCs. Do you think, I mean, naturally Germany will prepare for that? Do you think it's time to change things up?
We have so many PCs. Look, what I was really happy with is we execute. And yesterday we executed, and I think we had 4 PCs. We had 1 missed trap, but even that one we kind of figured out in a decent way. We didn't do that very smart at the end, but we know they're having a good PC defense, and we actually found out the hard way in Spain when we encountered their first runner quite often. Yeah, so we'll sit around the table, make a plan. I think what has been helping us the last 2 games is we've been super specific to all the players involved in the penalty corner. What is your specific role? You need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this. And like, yeah, Edith has a great slap, but Deepika has a great flick. And unfortunately, she wasn't on the field anytime we got a PC yesterday. So, and the one time she was, we mistrapped the ball. So she has a very good flick, and I'm not hesitant to use that as well. So, and then Naya and Navneet have a very good hit as well. So we have enough opportunities.
लाइव लगातार के वीडियो को लाइक करें, सब्सक्राइब करें और बेल आइकॉन को दबाना न भूलें।